Going on to the third team, the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings, terrible year last year, coming off their playoff appearance the year before, which is a bad playoff loss to begin with. A playoff appearance that made Daniel Jones generationally wealthy. Mainly because Kirk Cousins got hurt. Kirk Cousins got hurt. They started off pretty decent, but ended up finishing 7-10. Did not make the playoffs. Same record as the Bears, but they had a edge. I think they had a better division record than the Bears, so they finished the third. Um, Kirk Cousins left. He's now Dante's roommate in Atlanta. He is bankhead Kirk Cousins. And now they drafted JJ McCarthy, who Bang says will be a coach in about 5 years.
Yeah, he'd be Nazareth's head coach in 2035.
2035, Nazareth's head coach JJ McCarthy. They signed Sam Darnold, who gets another life, and he has been told by head coach Kevin McConnell that he will be uh, the starter. And how many times has he been told that in his career? I'm pretty sure by midseason, something's going to change. So you got that. You got Justin Jefferson, the highest paid wide receiver in football currently. And they've got a good defense they're going to be bringing back. And of course, they got one of the best offensive minds at head coach. I think this is an interesting team for the Vikings to me, man. I could honestly see it going either way. You got the quarterback situation, which is going to be a big topic of conversation with anybody. But you know the old phrase: if you got two quarterbacks, you ain't got one quarterback. I think that's going to be something to pay attention to. If Justin Jefferson got paid, but that's not going to take away any frustration of him having bum niggas throwing to him. You have a good defense. Is that going to be wasted? We're going to really see just how good their coaches are calling plays. I could see them sneaking in and making a playoff appearance with like a 9-8 record, or finding a way to sneak 10 wins. I could see something like that, but I could also see them being a 3-4 win 10. Nothing about them would surprise me, and that's why I think it's a very interesting team, because it really could go either way. I don't think they're overwhelmingly bad or overwhelmingly optimistic at the same time. Mikey, what you think about this Minnesota team? They got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot of stuff going on. I'm a big fan of Kevin O'Connell's offensive, game plan. We obviously know he comes from the Sean McVay tree, and he's able to have some success there. I want to see, how long. I want to see how Sam Darnold looks first off. For the fact that he's getting this second life, and I want to see how long that leash lasts. One thing that we've all been saying about JJ McCarthy is he is extremely young. Like, he's young in age, he's young in football years. I think it would benefit him to have a legitimate red shirt season. But is Sam Darnold going to have, one of those streaks where he's having 2 to 3 picks, back-to-back weeks, and the fans are going crazy asking for JJ McCarthy? So I really want to see that there. They also had some interesting pickups on defense this year. They went ahead and they paid Jonathan Bernard. They add somebody like Van Ginkel from Miami. They went ahead and they added to their secondary. They're gonna probably be a tough defense, like one of those sneaky teams, like be able to keep it close. And then you got Aaron Jones that they picked up, run the ball with Aaron Jones. You still got Jefferson. You still got Jordan Addison. You still got Hawkinson. So they have some weapons there. If Sam Darnold could be serviceable, and with their defense playing tough, they'll be tough, tough to go up against, pesky. I still don't think that there'll be anything this year. I think this is the team that will be in last place in the NFC North. It actually might benefit them to get a high draft pick, to go ahead and pair with their young quarterback, pair with the young wide receivers that they have, going forward. So they're gonna be a tough team to deal with, just because they're not just gonna lay there and die down. And we know Kevin O'Connell can call, some good offensive game plans. But I think that this is going to be, step one in their rebuild.
Bang, what you think about the Vikings, man?
I do think this is a sneaky team. I think this team is going to go as far as their defense takes them. As much as Kevin O'Connell is a offensive genius and all of that stuff, you're dealing with Sam Darnold, and I don't think that J.J. McCarthy is going to be as good as advertised, which is why he's going to be a head coach at Nazareth in 2025. But you got Justin Jefferson that's over there. You got a decent offensive line. Running back, I want to see what happens there. and see if the running back room is going to be able to help out Sam Darnold. But this team is going to go where their defense takes them. Brian Flores, second year in his system. They got some good free agent. They had some good free agent moves, and I just trust them as a defensive coach. So I don't think they're going to be like a 3 or 4 win team. I think that you're looking at a 7 to 9 win team there, because they're going to have a defense that's going to keep them in games.
I definitely forgot that they signed Aaron Jones.
And they also drafted, so you signed Jonathan Bernard from Texans, and then they draft Dallas Turner, So they're young. They're going young on defense, and they got some guys.
And the Aaron Jones things, his last couple of years in Green Bay, he was oft injured. Especially last year with his hamstring, I believe it was, that was hampering him. So we'll see. We'll see. But this is also not Kirk Cousins back there. This is Sam Darnold back there. So, this, I don't necessarily see this as a healthy Dalvin Cook situation.
He went from one op to the other. And I said, I'm really mad he's like an actually nice guy. I'm really mad he's a nice guy. Like, I wanted to hate him so bad. Like, when I hollered at that nigga, I was like, damn. I wanted you. Yeah, kind of like the episode of Entourage where Turtle met Tom Brady and he wanted to cuss him out. And then he was like, "Yo, we should come eat." Giselle cooks. Like, that's how I felt when I talked to Aaron Jones. Like, damn, this nigga's nice. But now we get to the beloved. Of course, it's gonna be Bears content overload on not just this show, but on 79 and Hallis, Barbershop Network, everything. I am ridiculously excited for this season, which who knows how that's going to pan out for me, but I'm excited about it. But the Chicago Bears outlet, the Bears finished with the same record as the Minnesota Vikings, 7-10. Justin Fields is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. The new quarterback is Caleb Williams, traded for Keenan Allen, drafted Rome Odunze with the 9th overall pick, signed DeAndre Swift, signed Kevin Byard. I know there's a couple other guys I'm missing. There's been a whole roster overhaul from last season. There's a lot of high expectations on 1920 football drive, not just from Chicago Bears fans who always have high expectations, but from local and national media. And they are going to be they are the team that's been chosen for HBO's Hard Knocks. First episode will be debuting August 2nd. The top storylines for me, obviously Caleb. That's the number one. Caleb Williams. How is he gonna adjust? I've been to pretty much every practice during this offseason portion, and he's had some good days. He's had some bad days. I don't think it was overwhelmingly in any favor. I don't think he was just bad. I don't think he was just like ripping shit. But at the same time, when he throws that ball, there's a very distinct difference from not just Justin Fields, but other quarterbacks who have donned this uniform when he throws the football, man, that I've seen, and that gets me excited. I think that the trenches, the offensive line and the defensive line, those are big question marks. Is the offensive line going to stay healthy enough? If healthy, I don't really have that many concerns about them. The defensive line is still my number one concern. Montez Sweat had a really good second half of the year when he joined the Bears, had 6 sacks with the Bears, but now the teams are going to be throwing all their attention to him. They still need somebody else to help them. I know they're going to be expecting a lot from Gervon Dexter. I'm going to be expecting a lot from Gervon Dexter. We've been hearing great things about him all through the offseason, through the OTAs and things like that. What's his camp going to be like that? Because Zach Pickens look good. You got those questions. I do think they're going to sign a veteran during the offseason. I don't know who it's going to be, but I do think it's going to be kind of like the Yannick Ngakoue signing last year that happened like in week 2 of camp. And it actually might be that nigga again. So those to me are the biggest storylines coming in. What's Caleb's rookie year going to be like? Is he going to experience some of those rookie pains? I mean, kind of like we see all the conversation we've had about Caitlin Clark in the WNBA is about to switch to Caleb because obviously the NFL's king. He's a big prospect, and Caitlin's actually kind of figured it out. I don't know if you've paid attention to Twitter, but niggas ain't been talking lately because Caitlin's figured it out. Caitlin's been playing really good ball lately. And now the chin is going to shift to Caleb. And we even got one of the Tennessee Titans says, I can't wait to play old boy with the fingernail. So niggas is already like getting their stuff out. So that's going to be the number one conversation. The wide receiver battles in camp. DJ Moore kind of put a 1,000-yard bounty on the line to see who's going to be the first one hit 1,000 yards between him, Keenan Allen, and Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze saying he wants to break his former teammate Puka Nakua's record, which I don't think he's going to get enough snaps to do that. But you see the competition between that. Can this defense take the second half of last season and prove to people, especially me, because I personally think that was fool's gold, but I would love to be wrong. Can they take that to the next level? What's Matt Eberflus going to look like with actual expectations? New offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. Flus is not going anywhere, and then Flus ain't getting fired. The pressure's on Shane Waldron. Can he do what we haven't seen an offensive coordinator in history of Chicago Bears football do? So those are the top things that I'm going to be looking forward to, and the things that we're going to be giving breakdowns on week by week on not just this show, but also 79th and Hallis. Mikey, what do you think the outlook for the team? What are some things you're going to be looking for as we're officially 2 weeks from camp reporting day for the Bears?
Everything. Everything, bro. From the offensive line to me, something that people aren't really talking about is the right guard center situation. There's a lot of smoke out there that Nate Davis is actually playing for his job. He will be going into camp playing for his job. So the Bears did pick up Ryan Bates. They traded a pick for the Bills to the Bills for Ryan Bates. Started the majority of his games at right guard. Also has some center experience. But then they go ahead and they pick up Coleman Shelton from the Rams, who was their center. So what does that say for somebody like Nate Davis, who they've had? Now we know that he had issues last year, family wise, death in the family, situations like that, but also just a propensity to not want to practice. And that was something that was coming out of Tennessee. They couldn't wait to get rid of him because he just wasn't committed to the Mike Vrabel style of practicing at 100%. And that was before anything with the family came up. So that's going to be big right there, obviously, because for Caleb Williams, a rookie quarterback who's going to have all of this talent on the outside, you want to make sure that the offensive line and the symmetry and the cohesiveness is there. That's something that Bears quarterbacks throughout their entire lives rarely have. There's always a state of influx. Give us the best 5 out there. So I want to, I'm going to focus in on that. And then just really, Caleb Williams, being able to play within the Shane Waldron offense. We know that he can do, the outside off script shit. We know he can do that, but can he go ahead and play with rhythm, with motion, comfortably from the pocket in Shane Waldron's offense, without having to rely so much on trying to play, hero ball. So that's really what I'm worried, that I'm really focused on. The wide receivers are legit. Our secondary, I know PFF came out the other day and said that we're the 19th best secondary. That's why PFF cannot be fucking taken serious. Yeah. Can't be taken serious. But our secondary is legit. Just want to go ahead and see if they add somebody. I agree with you. I believe it's going to be a Yannick Ngakoue type signing, if not him. He's rehabbing now. They already know what they got. They don't need him now. That could be somebody that they sign maybe, end of July, beginning of August, within, week 2 of camp. And then the other thing, and I don't know if, a lot of people are, if where you guys feel on it, but, Connor Williams, the center from the Miami Dolphins should be ready for camp. He would have been the number 1 center on the free agent market, had he not torn his ACL. Do the Bears go ahead and take a stab at that? If they're not liking what they see out of the Nate Davis situation, Coleman Shelton situation, do they go ahead and maybe give him a 1-year deal that's maybe, 1 year, $12 million or so, or a 2-year deal and take a stab on that? Because as long as he's healthy, there's no way that this offensive line will not be one of, the better ones in the NFC North, if you can add a talent like that. So I'm just really focused on line play because everything else I think is solid.
Bang, man. I think Mikey hit the nail on the head as far as everything. What are you looking forward to as we're 2 weeks heading into camp?
Offensive and defensive line. Mikey hit the nail on the head with everything revolving around that offensive line and Nate Davis, the whole Nate Davis situation. Do you look at an offensive lineman that hasn't been signed yet that's probably coming off of health? Connor Williams. Do you look at Ryan Bates and the other dude from the Rams that you grabbed? Do you look internal? Oh, all of those things right there, leads to a lot of questions when it comes to that offensive line that you need to have in place. Even Tevin Jenkins, will he be able to stay healthy throughout the season? Defensive line, been hearing a lot of stuff around Gervon Dexter Jr. Having a big year. People are pegging him to have a big year. If that were to happen, then I think that defense is better than they were last year, if you could keep that up. So those lines, which are the heartbeat of your teams, are going to be very important to the development of Caleb Williams and the continued development of this defense. So I'm looking at the offensive and defensive line.
Dante, take us on the Bears.
The nigga we drafted number 1 overall. That is all that matters here. I want to see Caleb Williams. I understand all that other stuff, but I trust Ryan Poles to fix all of that. So I want to see if the quarterback is as advertised and he is the guy that we think he is. Because if he is, a lot of these issues that we worried about ain't going to matter because his play is going to elevate everybody around him. So Caleb is the answer for me. That's the only answer. All the other stuff is secondary at this point. I want to see if he really got it.
Real quick before we spend the last 15 minutes on the Chicago Bulls. I said I don't think Caleb is playing the Hall of Fame game. I would love to be wrong because I'm driving 6 hours to fucking I don't even know what Canton, Ohio. I would love to see that nigga play. I don't think he's gonna play. I want to go with all three of y'all. What y'all prediction is, Mikey? I know you said you want him to play. Do you think that Caleb's gonna play in the Hall of Fame game?
I think he's gonna go out there, play 2 handoffs, and that's about it, or 3 handoffs, and call it that.
So no throws.
I would like to see a throw, but I think that they'll go ahead and just give him. Also, you got to remember, it's who's healthy. Remember that was Eberflus's thing last year. Because so many linemen were hurt during practice, they didn't feel comfortable throwing Justin out there. In the first preseason game. So I think if he goes, allegedly. So I feel if he goes out there, it's just a hand of rock off.
Dante, what's your prediction? Does he play or not play?
He plays 1 series and then sits down.
Bang, what you think?
1 series, 2 passes, sit his ass down.
I think that nigga will be eating goobers on the sideline as who's our backup quarterback? Brett Rippon, and my man Tyson Bagent will be throwing the ball. But
paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.